What's up guys, my name is Jimmy Champane and today I'm here with my review of Resident Evil Revelations for PS4 and Xbox One. It comes out today, August 29th for $20. Now, there is a Switch release planned for the end of the year that packages the first game and the second game and all the DLC onto one cartridge, and I don't know how much that's going to cost, but keep that in mind when you watch this review. Anyways, if you haven't heard of this one before, Revelations is a 3DS game that brought the series back to its survival horror roots, and then with the sequel they kind of took it back to action, which didn't really make sense. It stars Jill Valentine and she's on a quest to find Chris, who's trapped on the Queen Zenobia cruise ship. Now, I'm gonna get this right out of the way. This game is scary, but the story is totally batshit. Seriously, it just is dumb. There's a lot of twists and turns because it is a Resident Evil game, but you know when there's a twist and you feel like, wow, I can't believe that got me. That was a really smart twist. And then there's a twist where you're like, that's completely implausible and the only reason I didn't get it was because there's no way it would ever happen. That's the kind of twists that this game throws at you. It is set up like a B movie or a TV show. It's actually broken up into episodes, but the story isn't great. It is scary. I will say there are some really good jump scares in it, but it's not really the best of the bunch in terms of Resident Evil stories. There's kind of a mixed bag of different sorts of levels in this game. You'll play action levels as Chris, you'll play traditional survival horror levels as Jill, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff thrown in the mix as well. Something I thought was really funny was on the 3DS, I really hated the action levels, but on the PS4 version, I actually did really like them. So there is some new stuff here to check out. Speaking of improvements, there actually was a little bit of work put into this one from the PS3 and Xbox 360 ports that make it play and look a little better, which I know is surprising if you've seen any of the other ports that they've done of Resident Evil games. They're just straight up ports. So that is pretty cool that they put in some work here. The changes include better frame rate, 1080p textures, and enemy animations. Speaking of graphics, my biggest gripe with Resident Evil Revelations HD, I guess, is that it's only 1080p. I know that's an improvement from the PS3 and Xbox 360 ones, and especially the 3DS one, but they took a 3DS game that was upscaled and then they upscaled that, so it kind of looks like a middle of last gen game now. Yeah, it does look clear, but it's 2017 and people have 4K TVs now and we all have PS4 Pros presumably, so why didn't they just go the extra mile and put in some 4K textures? They really should have done that. Again, I have to give Capcom some credit here because they did upscale it from the PS3, 360, and PC versions, but it's just not enough and that is a big bummer. An upside that the press pack I got didn't really highlight was that the aiming and shooting feels a lot better in this game. I don't know if that was on purpose, but it does, and it definitely feels a lot better and more fine-tuned than Resident Evil Revelations 2, which is kind of funny because that game was made on PS4 and Xbox One. It's just kind of bizarre. After you beat the story, which should take you around 10 hours, you do have a raid mode, and this is kind of another mixed bag situation because Resident Evil Revelations 2 has raid mode as well, and that's totally expanded. So if you haven't played Resident Evil Revelations 2, this is new to you, but if you have played 2, you're playing an expanded raid mode, so why would you want to play the original raid mode? It just doesn't make sense. At the end of the day, this game just sits in the middle of the road for me. Overall, it's pretty good. Like, the story's pretty good, the shooting's pretty good, the way it looks is pretty good. It's just not great. If you've never played it before, I think you definitely should, especially at 20 bucks. And if you don't have a Switch, this is the perfect time to play it. But if you do have a Switch, I would wait to see when that comes out, see how that port is, and then make your decision. Because getting both games on one cartridge and playing them in handheld, I think handheld is where this game belongs. I think it would look a lot better in handheld mode and it would help me get over some of the grievances I have with it. So yeah, it pains me to say, as much as I like this game, it's kind of a tough sell in 2017 on PS4 and Xbox One. But that's what I think of Resident Evil Revelations. I'd really like to hear what you think, so if you end up picking it up and you like it, let me know down in the comments below. If you don't like it, let me know down in the comments below. If you like this video, you want to see more game reviews like this, hit the thumbs up button, and if you're not already, subscribe. In case you haven't noticed, I've been doing a ton of horror related videos. I love doing them, so if that's what you want to see, I'd really appreciate it if you let me know. And that's my review of Resident Evil Revelations HD. That's just what I'm calling it. I did really like this game on 3DS. It's kind of a bummer that I have to give it not so positive review, but it just doesn't hold up in 2017 as well as I think it should. So what'd you think of this review? I want to hear your thoughts. Let me know down in the comments below and hit the thumbs up if you liked it. If there's any horror movies, TV shows, comics, games, whatever, you can hit me up on Twitter at Jimmy Champane or on Instagram at Jimmy Champane and tell me, and I will do my best to review those. But I think that about covers it, guys. So as always, I'm Jimmy Champane, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.